So I'm going to start by doing the formatting for the annotated bibliography. All right, let's go ahead. We'll start with Google Docs and do the formatting there, and then we'll do Word Online and then Word. So starting from scratch with a bibliography, I'm going to start by fixing the formatting for the bibliography, and I'm going to do this very quickly because we've actually gone through this quite a few times now, and I want to spend more time on the annotated bibliography part. But first things first, we're going to check the font and make sure that this is Times New Roman and that it is 12 point. Then we're going to check the format, and I'm going to do a line and indent first. Indent options. And I'm only doing this one first because it is like first on the list. So indent options. I want left 0, right 0, and I want a hanging indent 0.5. Okay, so notice now my bibliography entries are sticking out and they're no longer indented over. So when I copy and pasted, Healthcetera, Find Law, Washington Post, and plagiarism.org, they all kept their italics, so I don't need to do anything to that. All right, so at this point, in theory, I would have a bibliography and I would have it saved. Now, before you finish your annotated bibliography, I really recommend that you make a copy and you call the copy the annotated bibliography, because you're going to need both your annotated bibliography and the bibliography, and it is easier to just keep up with both than it is to try to convert the annotated bibliography back, but that is possible. You can do that. So underneath the first article, I would go and I would read it, I would take my notes, and then I'd be writing a summary. So I hit enter to get to a new paragraph. And now I'm going to hit tab and see what happens, because I don't remember if this works in Google Docs. So hitting tab, and it tabs over. So now here I can write my summary paragraph with whatever that is. And then I'm going to hit enter and tab and do my reader response. And you're going to want to do that for all of them. So all I'm doing is hitting enter to get over here, and then tab to get popped indented in. So I actually have an annotated bibliography that I've unformatted, and I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to copy my summary and my reader response over here. I'm hitting enter, tab, and I'm going to paste. Okay, now because I pasted it, I don't know if you guys saw that without the format, like I just hit paste. Like it's using the formatting from Word. So now I've got to fix this one to make it Times New Roman 12. And then I need to go into the formatting, align and indent. I want 0.5 and no special indent. So this is what I want as the formatting for the summary paragraph and the reader response paragraph. Okay, so instead of doing a hanging indent, and instead of having it 0, 0, you want 0.5 and 0. So watch, when I hit that, it's going to shuffle everything over. But do you guys see this right here, how that thing has like an extra gap? If I open up my line and indent, it says it's correct, but it's still obviously like extra. So maybe there's like a tab there or something. So I'm going to hit backspace. And yeah, do you remember when I hit enter and I hit tab? Like it was keeping that tab instead of changing the formatting. So now I have this gap here and I have this single spaceness going on. So I'm going to have to go to my line spacing, custom spacing, and I want 2 and 0 and 0. So I'm going to hit apply, and look, it fixed that. But there's still sort of a gap here. Okay, so I have that extra line. So I'm going to backspace. Okay. So do you see how like copying and pasting it in from another document is a lot more complicated than just starting here, hitting Enter Tab, and then typing my summary? Like that's way easier. But if you have like in this circumstances where you've got it on a separate document, then you're gonna have to bring it in and then do the formatting. So now I'm gonna go for my next to. I'm gonna hit copy, and then this time I'm gonna try to do paste without formatting. Let's see what happens. All right, so do you see how like the formatting looks very different this time? That's because when I pasted without formatting, it gave me the formatting from this document. So there's actually less for me to fix. I'm going to check my align and indent, and instead of that hanging indent, I want that 0.5 indent. I'm going to hit apply, and look, like, do you see how it just moved it over for me? And it's already Times New Roman 12, like, it's, and I can't spell apparently. Prison, yeah. You guys following how that worked? So using the paste without formatting was actually made my life a lot easier than just doing a regular paste. All right, so let's do the next one. Okay, and I'm going to paste to that formatting. Now, I don't know if you guys saw, like this just popped up. Instead of going over here to this menu, I right click and it gives me these options. And so I can use Control Shift V, or I can just click on it. And let's see what happens if I tab these over. Look, do you see how like I hit tab, but it still keeps that hanging indent? So it's better to, oh, I was going to undo it and then go back. But what I just did right now is I hit tab and then I hit backspace and it fixed it. Oh, look, I can't spell devastating either. Okay, deleting that extra line that got added. And then I feel like, yeah, this annotated bibliography doesn't have that final bibliography entry. So, like, I don't have a summary, so I'd have to write one. Article, what is plagiarism? And I'm just going to leave it at that for now because I don't want to actually write things. I liked it. Okay, so there's my really terrible, would definitely lose points for being only one sentence when, if you guys remember, the first one is supposed to be 4 to 5 sentences. Like your summary should be 4 to 5 sentences, and then your reader response 1 to 2 sentences. So technically, this nasty little thing that I typed, I liked it. Like that is technically okay. I'm not going to take points off. I'm going to make faces at you because that's not really helpful for you or me. But like that is theoretically good enough. Now you are supposed to have this titled Annotated Bibliography to tell it apart from an annotated and a regular one. And you are supposed to have page numbers on the right hand side with your last name, and this needs to be Times New Roman. There we go. Now this would be what your annotated bibliography should look like. You should have that header, no heading. Notice it starts like the annotated bibliography starts like right under the header. It's like right under there. There's no extra gaps in between. We have only the bibliography entries with the hanging indent. The summaries and the reader response, those are lined up and they're in alphabetical order. Okay, now one thing you can't really do with this is you can't do the Control A to do the align and indent because we have two sections with different align and indent. If you go in here and you add the hanging indent, then it's gonna like make these guys stick out again. So I can do tab backspace which if you've already written these things and you've already got it and you're trying to format it all together now, this tab backspace may actually be the easiest way for you to get these things properly formatted. Because that worked very easily. Not teacher's writing, teaches writing. Man, I have obviously not proofread this thing. I don't know why I always want to spell things like the British peoples. Okay, so there it is for Google Docs. Let's go ahead and do Word Online. All right, making a blank document. All right, and I'm going to start the same way I did before. I'm going to grab just the bibliography, and I'm going to paste that over here. Now, because Word and Word Online are made by the same company, they have a few less problems communicating, but even so, I can already see that there is extra space underneath each of these. So I'm going to open up my paragraph settings, and look right there. Do you see that 8? The spacing after, that should be 0. Okay? I'm not going to change the alignment because the reason it's blank is because the title bibliography is there. Like, it's centered. So all I had to do was fix that 0.8. It's already times New Roman 12. So there wasn't as much to change because the two programs like each other. So let's go ahead and add in our annotations. So again, this is all messed up. So if I just copy and paste it in, it's going to keep that weird formatting from it being messed up. If I do paste text only, then it actually changes it to the formatting of the document I'm pasting into. So let's see what happens if I hit tab. Oh, look, it likes me. I'm going to delete that extra space that I got. And then let's go to the next one. Yeah, I really need to spell check this thing. All right, I'm hitting paste. And it came out weird, but I can open this up to do text only. So I can just tab the notes in and then delete the extra line I ended up with. All right, so this time, instead of going ahead and doing the shortcut, I'm going to go ahead and fix the formatting on my own so you guys can see those steps just in case. So first off, I need this to be Times New Roman. I need it to be 12. Then I need to open up my paragraph settings because I need nothing before or after, so 0 spacing before and after. I need double spaced. And then instead of having like a first liner hanging, I'm going to have none. But before text, I'm going to do that 0.5. This is the same as we were doing in Google Docs. Before text, 0.5 for just the summary paragraph and the reader response paragraph. See? And it then moves them all over and they're all lined up where they're supposed to be. So I've added my annotated bibliography title. Again, you should save one as the bibliography and save another as the annotated bibliography. Add your header, insert page numbers, and we want this one. And then we want that last name and a space between your name and that page number. And I'm going to change this to Times New Roman. And again, I never trust that this thing is going to be Times New Roman like it says it is, but I swear when I download it, it's going to get messed up again. Okay. That's it. Like, that is the formatting. Right? We could do it on Word as well. I'm going to do Control A. Let's change this to Times New Roman 12. Let's open up our paragraph settings. We want 0 after. We want double spaced. Most of it should have a hanging indent, so I'm going to add that now. Then I'm going to center the title, and now I'm going to go through and I'm going to just tab in all the notes. Tab, 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 tab. And if I select these notes and open the paragraph settings, look, when I hit tab, it removed the hanging indent for me and it put the 0.5 for me. So it's just doing the exact same thing.